Welcome back, guys. I'm Zell, and today we're looking at office carry knives. Alright, guys, they've been called gentlemen's carry and the such like for a long time, but we're going to call them office carry knives because we don't want to leave the ladies out, because many ladies carry a knife on them these days, and they may be interested in these too. In fact, I hope they are. The more women we got out there carrying knives, the better. Anyhow, this is the knife that I've been carrying for office carry for a very long time. It's a Brad Zinker design Boker Plus, and wow, this thing is just beautiful. But it does have one major drawback. It is a light-duty knife. There is no doubt about it. There is nothing here that screams, if I got in that situation where I needed to use this as a self-defense tool, that I would have supreme confidence in it. And I've considered that a lot. I don't worry terribly about the knife that I'm carrying in those environments because, well, I have other implements that are better suited for self-defense than my pocket knife. But for those of you that may not have access to those better implements, your pocket knife and self-defense can be a very important thing. So I was looking through Wee's catalog, and Wee had sent me several knives for review and to set up for these pass-arounds and get out to other reviewers. And I had them all out kind of looking at them, and I'm thinking, my God, they have some normal knives, some beautiful office carry knives. So we've got a few Wee knives to look through, and then we've got one that's not a neat Wee knife that I'm going to save to the very end. So let's jump right into it. First off, whenever Wee came around, this knife was super popular, and for good reason. Most people looked at the dragon scale design and the blade designs of the two versions of this and went, wow, gotta have that. And, you know, well deserved. Now, the recurve I'm not a super fan of, but some people love recurves, and it's got a beautiful action. It doesn't weigh a whole heck of a lot, and just a well-made knife. And there's two versions of this. You have the recurve and you have the tanto, and it's a Japanese style tanto. So we've got a little bit of belly on that, what would normally be flat on an American style tanto, and we have a curve here on what would normally be flat on an American style tanto. So it's a very usable tanto blade, and these are beautiful, just great knives, especially for office carry because they're so slim. Now, they do weigh a little bit, and they're not knives you want to carry in dress pants, most likely. You know, it kind of depends on you, but a lot of people won't, and they sit down in the pocket real well. The only thing you've got here is you do have the color on the clip, if that's a problem. However, it's a very classy design, so probably not a big issue unless you just have an anti-knife group where you work. And we're going to leave the jeans out here as part of a background because we're going to slide all these knives in just so you can see what they look like. And there comes Nixie. And our next up is a 606. Now, Nick Shabazz reviewed this knife, and he reviewed the one with carbon fiber on it. The green one I have here has no carbon fiber, and I think that is a better everyday carry knife. The carbon fiber is beautiful, but you know, look at this. Nice and smooth, makes for a very nice looking knife. Now, these grinds here we'll talk about. They are beautiful, but there's some more information you may want before you get into one. Is it a problem? I don't think so. Not for me anyhow, but some people may hold issue with them. Got a fuller down it. We got our little eye here. It's not a Spidey hole of any sort, man, swedged up here. But the beautiful thing is you can slide this thing down in your pocket, and it comes in a few different colors, and it hides down in there pretty good with a very classy looking clip. Nothing that's going to be scream, here's a knife, here's this big bad tactical knife, even though you've got a blade that's right around 3.5 inches long, a little bit longer than that. And next up is this little guy. Now, it doesn't sit in the pocket quite as well, but it's a very small knife. We've got, in fact, it is very much in line with your Delica as far as size goes. And that is a beautiful thing. You know, it's a little thicker and a little heavier, but it's got very, very nice design, and it keeps it small and keeps it pretty light. We'll look at weight and stuff whenever we get into the full review of this guy. The only issue that I had with the knife, and you may or may not have this issue, is we do have quite a bit of knife sticking up here. But really not that much. And again, it's pretty classy. So should make for a good office carry knife. Now next up, we have the 618. And this is your quintessential office carry knife. And wow, we've got a 4-inch blade here, and it's flat ground, thinly flat ground. We do have that kind of fancy grind there on the front again, and it is just beautiful. Now, one thing to note about this is it is a right-hander only knife, and it's not exactly the easiest knife just to roll open quietly. You can do it, but it takes a little practice. But the detent is well set up for flicking the knife open. And if you guys are watching and listening, this is a knife that absolutely screams for having this brought back some and giving us a flipper tab on this guy. This knife with a nice small flipper tab, kind of like our Zinker design. And this is ambidextrous, and you know, it's just a gem. It's absolutely beautiful. Anyhow, that is a 618, and it slides down in the pocket pretty nicely. And this one happens to be all black, so it stays unobtrusive, very classy, very simple pocket clip design, stays out of the way, and it is a little thinner under the pocket clip with slacks in mind. So with your khakis and your slacks, this knife ought to clip in there just about perfect. And one other thing to note here is, see this right here? Get your hand around this guy and you have just, it's minimal protection, but you do have a little protection in case you have to stab that box on the way home. So, very well thought out little knife. If this thing was ambidextrous, it would be an all-star. Next up, we move into the 7 series, and this is one of my favorite knives from WE, the 702, and it's not exactly because it's integral. It's because we've got a 4-inch blade, and you can see I've been using this guy. I got some crap on the blade, and WE's given me the opportunity to carry this one a lot over the past couple months, and it is just a beautiful knife. The action is great. The flipping action, as long as you keep your fingers off the lock bar, is beautiful. Sitting on bearings, ceramic bearings, of course, and it is just great. It makes that office carry knife, and where I carry, I don't have to worry about people seeing my knife, because there is one slight downfall. Whenever you put this thing in the pocket, of course you have this gold pocket clip sticking up, and you know, it's still a classy pocket clip, and in many places that's going to be fine. It doesn't really bother me, but I know many of you would like to have a darker colored pocket clip on a knife like this. And, you know, maybe we'll do that in the future. The 702 has been pretty popular, and I know they're doing a slight rework of the knife, so maybe we'll get some different color combinations. But anyhow, this is just the most solid feeling knife, and just for reference, this is a knife that I have carried a lot. Benchmade 710-1401, I think, is the number on this guy, and I love this thing. It is a very, very good knife, got a great blade design, and it's same thing, thin, sits in the pocket pretty well, and works great as that office carry knife, besides the big honking chrome clip here. But the 702 is taking the place of this 710 by a large margin. This thing has stayed in the knife case for quite some time because of this guy. So, great, great knife. And I know many of you are thinking, well, that thing is like $300. Why would I carry a $300 knife? Well, I was already carrying a $200 knife and using the crap out of it. And the 702, in my world, and for function, fit, and just the way it works, is worth that extra $100. It just really is. And I know some of you are going, no, I'm crazy, but it just is. But we has heard you, and they have done this. This is the 704, and we've got a couple different colors to look at here. And this is everything that the 702 is, but lighter. And this thing comes in a little over 3 ounces, I think right about 3.5. So this is a knife you can carry in those slacks, easily carry in those khakis. However, they went ahead and made the clip tall enough that you can carry it in tactical pants, you can carry it in your work pants, your Centos and Dickies with no issue. And it sits down in the pocket quite nicely, has a classy look, nothing screaming, oh my god, super bad knife in my pocket. But you get a 3 3/4 inch blade stuffed in that little knife with a little bit of a sway back, made out of M390. And wow, I really hope that many of you get to put your hands on this one, and many of you get to feel the joy of this little knife, because I keep saying little. Let's lay it up against our Delica. It's not a little knife. We've got more blade than the Delica by a ½ inch or so, and it's just a more ruggedly built light knife. This is one that you can rely on, and you've got your protection here from having to stab that big cardboard nasty box on the way home. And of course, just like all Louise, it's running on ceramic bearings. So, beautiful, beautiful knife. And I told you we had one other non-Wii knife, and I know some of you get down on looking at all the Wiis, but my goodness, I just wanted to show that Wii isn't just about those big audacious designs. Whenever I started looking through the inventory of Wii here, I started seeing all these knives that are just really, really great office carry knives. And I wanted to share them with you. But the last one, and one that I carry quite often, is the Spyderco Mantra. And you're saying, well, that thing's big and thick, and well, no, it's not. It's kind of tall here, not very thick here. Weighs in, if I remember right around 3 ounces or so. Don't quote me there. But the beauty of this knife is you just have this little wire pocket clip, just a little nib of the knife sticking out. And if you're in those office carry situations in slacks or khakis, and you need something that's a bit unobtrusive, the Mantra is a good way to go. Now, of course, if you don't know, the Mantra does have the issue with the ball bearing system. It is not the greatest ball bearing system in the world. Does it work good? Yeah, it works good, but not nearly as good as it should. But still yet, for light office carry, the Mantra is a very good one. So there you go, guys. There is my office carry arsenal, if you will. The Wii 604, 606, 616, 618, 702, 704, the Mantra, and the Brad Zinker design from Boker. Now, this one, as much as I like this knife, has really been set aside over this group of knives here. The 702 being my favorite, the Mantra being the one I carry whenever I really need deep carry. And these 704s, I've just got my hands on those, but I think they may even take the place of the 702. They are just wonderful, wonderful little knives. And they're going to make great slicers. Anyhow, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and taking time to look at these knives with me and maybe get some ideas for your office carry. And if you have other suggestions for office carry, please put them down in the comments and share with everybody. Because in many cases, office carry is an underserved portion of the EDC market. And that's kind of bothersome. I'd like to see more knives in this category. And I was really surprised when I looked through Wee's knives and found so many that would fit in that role. Anyhow, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.